Raisa, and this is Raisa's Bookshelf. I'm actually really excited to start just talking about books and discussing, just reading and discussing the books that I read. I don't really have somebody to really talk to about when it comes to books. I don't have many readers in my family or my friends. They don't really read that often, but it just so happened that I have a lot of more free time this semester to read, and I am going to make absolutely the most, because I do have a pretty big like TBR, and I have really specific books that I want to read, and they're all in my bedside table, and I will probably have a video just showing you the books that I'm most eager to get to. I do have quite a bit of books like right in front of me in my bookshelves that I do want to read, but they're not as a priority as the ones that I have next to my bed. So I've been really good. I finished about like I said, I had a lot of free time, so I finished, I think, 3 books back to back, and I absolutely loving. I really enjoyed all the books that I talked about, but these 2 particular books, they stood out to me so much. I don't know, it's just, they made me feel so much. And I've been reading a lot of like romance and like adult romances and just, you know, really silly fun books, but these books kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, I'm not gonna lie. I will start with the one that just like, I didn't cry as much as I thought I would, but it made me feel so many feelings that I don't think I felt like almost like vulnerable, like reading the book. And the author of the book just put all of her doubts, sorrow, grief, guilt, all of her emotions into the book, and you could feel it. The way she explained certain dishes, you could smell them, and it was just amazing writing. I think this is a book that I will take with me forever. I believe. I want to premise with, I love memoirs, and this is why I gravitated most towards this book. But it was also very popular on TikTok or Book Talk or whatever you want to call it, and it is Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner, and it is a memoir, and she's actually the artist of, or the like main lead vocalist of Japanese Breakfast, which I believe it's an indie rock band, if I'm not mistaken. I actually knew what Japanese Breakfast was, like the band, but I didn't realize she was the writer until like halfway through the book I read the back, because I liked going into books completely blind. I don't really like knowing too much of the premises. I can know what, you know, like the general stuff is, or like, is it a thriller or whatever, but I kind of like to go in blind and not really knowing what to expect. So I actually just stopped after reading that she was an artist, and I kind of got upset, because it would have been really cool to like find that out towards the end of the book, that she does talk about that. But essentially this book is a memoir, and it basically goes through different stages of her generally just watching her mother pass away. And I think just writing and thinking about one of your parents passing away, but I feel like as somebody who's really close to my mom, she's my best friend, who's also had a very difficult relationship with her, especially during my teenage years, it felt different. It felt I did feel a lot of the feelings that she was feeling, if that makes any sense. It's really hard to explain, but I think the hardest truth somebody can, you know, attempt to accept is the fact that you won't have your parents with you forever. And if you're particularly close to one of your parents and you, oh my god, I'm telling you, this book, it's gut-wrenching. It's gut-wrenching. It will hold a really special place in your heart when you read it. Even if you're not particularly close to one of your parents, you feel everything she's feeling. You can like I said, you can smell the food that she's cooking. She describes a lot of Korean food. You know, there's a scene where she's describing when her mother has passed away and she's putting on an outfit that her mom would love, and she's describing the feeling of how stiff the body is and her reaction towards that, and it's just something that you don't want to experience. And I think it's such a cruel feeling of just knowing that you will, you know, you could watch both of your parents or one of your parents pass away. And it's actually kind of funny. I have this joke with my mom that she's not allowed to die before me, because just thinking about it makes me want to physically throw up. You feel this book in your gut. Oh my, that's like the best way I can explain this book. You can feel it in your gut. You can feel the dread, you can feel the sorrow, you can feel the guilt, you can feel the grief, you can feel the relief, and you can also feel the sadness throughout it. And there was a point in the book where she decides to get married to her long-term partner before her mom passes away, because she's like, I cannot get married without her. I would be a joyless bride. That's what she says, a joyless bride. And it was like a punch in the throat when she said that, because I cannot imagine me ever getting married and my mom not being there. Like I said, it's a cruel feeling that humans, that we have to come to accept that we won't have those people, those very important people, forever. And you know, I try to express my love towards my mom with as much as I can, literally as much as I can. If she tells me she loves the food, I will cook it for her every single day if she wants to. If she wants me to learn how to make key lime pie because she wants a fresh key lime pie, I will do it. I will learn it, and I will it's just, you know, this makes you want to hold your mom closer and not just verbally tell her I love you, but show her you love her every single day. Like I said, this is a book you feel in your gut, okay? If you want, I didn't sob, I didn't cry, but I felt uneasy. I felt every single emotion that the author was feeling, and I could picture it in my head, you know, and it's unexplainable, an inexplicable feeling, an inexplicable cruel truth, you know. And so yeah, I really do recommend this book. It is absolutely wonderful. It's beautifully written. I always feel really weird, you know, just kind of rating memoirs. This is a 5 out of 5, no questions, 5 out of 5. But I always feel really weird just rating memoirs, just because these are the, you know, most vulnerable feelings, most, you know, of the person who's writing it. So how can I judge that? I wasn't there. But it was beautifully written. It was delicately told, and you could feel every single thing that this author was feeling. And yeah. And then the other book that I want to talk about, I did tear up a bit for this book. Again, not sobbed, but really did tear up. I don't like this cover, I will say. I prefer, I think it's the British one or the original one with the different like windows. But I know what this means. I was like, why is there 2 people up front? But now I get it. I was just being a little dummy. This is Fredrik Backman, Anxious People. I was very hesitant to read a Fredrik Backman book just because usually I only read female authors. Okay, not on purpose, not on purpose. I gravitate towards romance, and the majority of romance authors are women, and I'm generally surprised when I see a man writing a romance novel other than like Nicholas Sparks. So yeah, I mean, I was really hesitant to read it, not because of his gender, okay, that was a joke, but because I was like, what if it's not good? What if it's not good? But I found I think it's the second book of the Beartown series on a thrift store, and I kind of was like, I really want to get into this author, so I was like, let me start with a standalone instead of his like trilogy. I have the first and second book in the Beartown series, and that's I'm gonna be reading them real soon. But this book is funny. I cannot explain it any other way other than it is hilarious. Every single character comes alive in the pages. At first I was like, this is kind of awkward because it's written in a very like almost like comedic way, which that's the point of the book, no doubt. That's the point of the book. Oh, this is upside down. Is it upside down? Yeah, it is. It's upside down and backwards. My bad. Like it's told in a very like almost like an SNL sketch. Like, that's the only way I can explain it. It is beautifully written, I will say. I love his writing. But then like the beginning of the book, it's kind of a giveaway, so if you don't want to know absolutely nothing about this book like I went into, generally I thought this book was about 2 people because of the cover. I thought it was about 2 people, okay? I actually confused her with the premise of Normal People by Sally Rooney, which is a book that I do want to I want to read, but not anytime soon. It starts out like a bank robbery, a hostage drama, and a stairwell full of police officers on their way to storm an apartment. It is easy to get to the point, much easier than you think. All it took is one single really bad idea. Like I said, this story is a lot of things, but mostly about idiots. And then it reiterates that same sentence of like, this story is mostly about a, you know, hostage drama or a bank robbery, or this is a love story and stuff. You get to know all of the 9 people, well, 8 people you don't get to know too much about the real estate agent. If you read the book, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But you get to deeply understand not only the behaviors and actions by every single one of the characters. You get to, even though you're with the character for a very short amount of time, you understand their wants, their needs, their desires, and you understand the behavior and why they're behaving that way, and why they're doing that action and that decision. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to give too much away, but it is such a funny book. Like I said, it's very comedic. It's very you learn, like, it doesn't have necessarily like a plot like you know, like you would typically find in a book, but it has that like people, like you're learning about people essentially, and learning the behaviors of the people this author is discussing. It's really hard to explain other than very comedic, very funny, made me tear up a couple of times. You learn about, you know, just deep emotional loneliness, sadness, complicated love, you know, different types of loneliness, I feel, and anger, and you truly learn to know, like, I hate this person and I don't even know other than like you know, their name, but I hate this person and what they did to this person. If you read the book, you'll understand what I'm talking about, but it is so good. You would be laughing out loud. Like, genuinely, I was laughing out loud. I am sold. You know, I will own all of his books. I will read all of his books. He just came out with one called My Friends. Really excited to read it. Anyways, I fully recommend it. I give it 5 stars. Obviously giving this one 5 stars. But I just wanted to talk about those 2 books. I will be doing a like May wrap up because I read quite a bit of books. But yeah, I'm having so much fun just reading and getting back into enjoying books, because I was kind of in a book slump, but we don't talk about that. Anyways, I'm really excited about just this YouTube channel. It's gonna be very simple, not too much, just me going on and on about books and struggling to describe them mostly, but having fun while doing it. So yeah, bye, thank you.